Night had just settled in, cloaking the world in a deep, inky blackness. I stood on the back porch, the air growing cool, and called out for my dog, Max. Usually he'd come bounding back inside, tail wagging, a blur of happy energy. But tonight was different. He was just standing there in the middle of the yard, completely still. Every hair on his back was raised, his entire body rigid like a statue. It was unnerving. I called his name again, a little louder this time, but he didn't even flinch. He was absolutely frozen, a silhouette against the faint glow of the moon. Curiosity mixed with a growing sense of unease made me step off the porch. As I got closer, I saw where he was looking. His eyes, catching the moonlight, were like two silver coins, and they were locked onto something high up on the house. I followed his gaze, my head tilting back until my neck strained. He was staring at the attic vent, a dark, shadowy rectangle near the peak of the roof. It was just a vent, something I'd seen 1,000 times before. But tonight, in the way Max was staring, it felt sinister, like a gaping mouth waiting to swallow the stars. A sudden, inexplicable chill traced its way down my spine, despite the mildness of the night. Why was he so fixated on that spot? As I stood there, trying to make sense of it, a sound began. It was faint at first, so faint I thought I was imagining it. A soft, rhythmic scratching. It seemed to be coming from the house itself, echoing from the very spot Max was staring at. Scratch, scratch, scratch. The sound grew steadier, more deliberate. It was a sound that didn't belong. My heart started to hammer against my ribs. What was up there? My feet moved before my brain could fully process the decision. I had to know. Grabbing the heaviest flashlight I could find from the garage, I headed for the attic stairs. Each creak of the wooden steps seemed to amplify the silence inside the house. I pulled down the attic door, the scratching sound now clearer, directly above me. With a deep breath, I pulled myself up into the darkness. The air was thick, tasting of dust and forgotten things. I flicked on the flashlight, its powerful beam cutting a sharp cone through the gloom. I swept the light across old boxes and covered furniture, my hand trembling slightly. Then, I pointed the beam toward the vent at the far end of the attic. The light hit the metal slats, and for a heart-stopping second, I saw it. A pair of eyes, glowing with a faint internal light, staring back at me from the darkness behind the vent. They blinked once, slowly, before a shadowy form shifted, obscuring them from view. At that exact moment, from the yard below, a sound I'd never heard from my dog before ripped through the night. It wasn't a bark. It was a low, guttural growl, a deep-throated warning that vibrated with pure menace. And in that terrifying moment, with the scratching silenced and those glowing eyes burned into my memory, I understood. The cold certainty washed over me. We were not alone in this house.